Welcome back to another video. Wanted to welcome everybody here. I am doing a video that's a little bit different than what I'm used to. I'm going to do a commentary video because when I was streaming last night, um, I was listening to music, so Twitch silenced everything, even myself. So, which is kind of a good thing, you know. I was bit complaining, but I'm going to do this commentary over the last 6 games before I hit Mythic, which was a goal of mine that I set when I came back to play Arena a little bit before Christmas. And, I told myself, I wanted to get to Mythic before the new set came out. So I'm just going to do a little thought process of what I was doing and for the last 6 games. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. So this one was against a mono red deck, of course. My thought process here was okay. Most likely he has the chain roller, goblin. So, which I was right, and just go from there. I was kind of skeptical. I was like, because usually when they hit that, it's over for me. But I said, well, just let's keep on going, see what happens. Let's see if I get luck of the draw, and then just go from there. So something I noticed here was that my creatures had lifelink, and against mono red decks, they hate lifelink. So, I had 3 creatures out, thankfully, and I was able to boost them with the Loxodon. And here I was thinking, if he attacks with the Goblin, I will block it, So right there, he baits me with a shock. So I was like, okay, so it looks like it's either he has a lightning strike or he might have another shock. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to block because you never know. And also, plus here, he's very indecisive of what he wants to do, and so it's kind of like it. I'm pretty sure he was just baiting me, and I fell for it, of course. But you'll see here in a second once he's done being indecisive. Yeah, I was thinking there. I was like, yeah, okay, well, he's indecisive. Let's do it. And sure enough, he had another shock. I think that's his 3rd shock. Yep, yeah, his 3rd shock. It's like, seriously, dude. So I usually bring out history before I bring out the martial for that same reason, so that the following turn I can attack with a 3/3 vigilance. I attacked here so I could gain life, just in case he has maybe another shock or a lightning strike, which he shows right there. And he attacks, of course. Then, of course, I top deck Heroic Reinforcements, which is just the perfect ladder for me. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to hold back here, see what he does. See if he tries to bait me. And I was like, well, I'm at 12. Of course. I'm going to be gaining 8 life next turn, so it doesn't really matter. Plus, he's tapped out. He can't do anything. If he attacks, just let it go, but that'll be his mistake. Everybody gets buffed. Heroic. And game over. Actually, no. I forgot he didn't scoop. Because I think he blocks a few. I was very skeptical of doing Marshall because he could have just double blocked, but with all the creatures that are attacking, it would be stupid if he double blocked. So I put him down to single digits. I gain 8 life. He only has 1 creature. I pretend I have something in hand. And that's it. So 4 games away from Mythic. Of course, you know, I guess you could say I'm a very superstitious person. That's one of the reasons why I don't record, because I think, you know, if I record, I'm going to jinx myself. So, um, and of course, I forgot that Twitch pretty much silences you if you have, you know, music in the background. So, um, you know, that's why I said, you know, I'm going to do something that I've never done before, is a commentary type video for you guys, just to try it out. You know, I've always wanted to do one as well. So here, you know, just your typical white weenie type stuff. I believe he was playing dinosaurs, but I don't think we really got that far to actually find out what it was that he was playing. So, um, I'm not really too fond of card advantage, so I took that away from him. And I also felt that he didn't really have anything, especially with 2 lands and no creatures to show. And I was right, because now he has 3 lands with no creatures to show. So I just went all out. And plus with aggro, you know, if you if you're just a couple steps ahead like I am here, it should be easy game. Yep. So that was an easy game, because that took away his card advantage, because I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why he kept his hand, was because he had the map. So I remember telling myself, you know, hey, you know, keep in mind your goal. Tomorrow is the new set. You got to do this. Actually, it was actually today. I'm pretty sure we're at midnight right now. Um, and I felt pretty good. I felt, you know, like I was on a roll. I was like, well, let's keep it up, you know. Because earlier that day, it was either earlier that day or the day before. Um, like my mana curve was just horrible. It was so stressful, so bad. Like I would get 1 drop, but for turn 2, absolutely nothing. No 1 drops, no 2 drops, nothing. I would only have 3 drops. I believe it was actually yesterday. Yeah. It was actually yesterday, because um, I lost, I think 5 in a row, or 4 in a row, 4 or 5 in a row, and because of that same reason. And 2 more games were like that. So 7 games in a row, my mana curve was just god awful. So here, you know, I see that he's playing red, white, blue. I used to fear this deck a lot, but for some reason, um, lately I've just been dominating um, control decks. I'm pretty sure what it is because, you know, you have Vanguard, you have Haunted Witness, um, Dauntless as well. You know, so um, I'm guessing because I'm also picking the right cards to bait him to, you know, show his hand. Like for example, there, you know, I was like, well, he might have a counter spell there, and he didn't, but he has all 4 lands. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to attack with 1. You know, because you never know. Even though, you know, it's too early, but look, I was right. He was going to do Settled Wreckage, which was perfect because I actually needed a land. So that's perfectly fine. And I still have 2 creatures next turn 3. In this case, now I have 2, 4, 5. If I did heroic reinforcements, it would be 8, 10, 12. But I wanted to bait him, see what he did. And sure enough, he played it. Like, okay, perfect. 5 goes to the face. Or 3, sorry. And pretty much he's mana flooded, for what I see. Which is fine, because I get to bring back my Haunted Witness. And now he still has 3 mana, so I'm like, okay. Let's just try this. Went through. He's not going to do anything. Now he's down to 4. Now I wanted to leave Shalai because I was pretty sure that he was going to, have another Settle the Wreckage, just in case, but obviously he had something better, of course. So I'm like, okay, that's perfectly fine. So here I had to take a turn, which I actually top decked the Sky Marcher, which I think was actually pretty good. I top decked her. Obviously he didn't have any counters, because it just went right through. And that's perfect right there. Waiting to see what he's going to do. Brings her out. I was like, okay, good game. Thankfully I kept that Tribunal, and he didn't use anything else for me to remove. And good game. So 2 games away from Mythic. Here I am on the inside. I'm super excited, but I kept my calm. Like, okay, I'm on a roll here. I believe I won like 7 games in a row, because I was actually down to the tier 2. I actually got demoted to tier 2, but when I got demoted, I just started winning. And obviously I didn't want to make this video too long for you guys, so I just decided to do the last few. I think 6 games. Last 6 games. I like that hand, because it's just pure white weenie. And it's actually pretty good, because you got Dauntless and Sky Marcher. I don't remember what I'm playing against. I'm playing, I think, Black Blue. I think it is. Yep, there it is. Black Blue. Okay, let's do this. We could do this. Boom. So I even have the colored land for Heroic. But I was hoping that he didn't have any hand removal, because obviously he would go for the Heroic reinforcements. He just passes the turn on this one, which actually makes sense, so I know exactly what he's going to do. Another one, perfect. I just need that 4th land. Sorry. He's going to kill my Scar Marcher, which makes sense. There's nothing I can do on that. I'm not going to sacrifice my bodyguard for that, so I'll be just stupid. Attack, play land, play Dauntless, and then hope that next turn I get a land. I hope he doesn't play that one card where, you search player's hand, library, graveyard. But I was lucky enough that he brought in a tapped land. He's a little bit slow. There's my 4th land. Hoping he doesn't have a counterspell. Bring them all in. I believe he destroys one of my Dauntless here, because that would have been 6, 8, 10, 12. That would have left him at 5. I was like, did I just bring this one in? No, remember. But that was the one that was protecting the Scar Marcher from the previous turn. And boom, I get my 5th land. That's perfect. Boom, 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 boom. He's on 8. This 4th land. Boom, kills everybody. Nothing I could do. Very sad. And I was like, shoot. But I was like, okay, I'm going to take my time here. Because I was thinking, like, why not attack? But I'm not going to kill him. You know? He would be at 2. And then let's say if he has that -2/-2 again, then I would be really screwed. So I was just hoping for him to tap out here. He kind of does. But I'm sure, I was thinking he might have that one counterspell, the Ionize one, which I was hoping that he didn't have. So he actually threw away that counterspell because he knows he doesn't have mana for it, so it doesn't really matter. But the 1/1, he might have a removal, which makes sense, but I top deck the Sky Marcher, which is perfect. So just in case he actually removes one of my creatures, the other one will go through. Boom, I'll attack. Good game. Thankfully, he didn't have that counterspell that I was talking about, so. So top decking that Sky Marcher was perfect right there. So here I am with one game away. Super excited. I was like, we got this. We could do this. And we've gotten this far. It's for about, I think, for about like 2 weeks. I was stuck on tier 3, tier 4. I actually told myself like we have to accept the fact that I'm not gonna even get past tier 3. And finally I did tier 2, and I went to tier 3 maybe like 5, 6 more times. That right there was pure luck, because as you can see I had 2 Vanguards. Going back to what I said about not having a 2-drop, this time I didn't have a 1-drop, but I was actually able to draw it. So I was like, whoopie-doo. And of course, seeing that enchantment that he just brought out, that's like, ugh, jeez, here we go. But I've beaten this deck many times before. Again, going back to beating control, for some reason, I'm really able to defeat controls. But this deck was just way superior to other ones because there was a lot of removal, and of course I was mana screwed, so that didn't help. But I just said, well, just keep pinging him. And see if I could draw that 3rd land. Oh. So I'm thinking here to actually Conclave. Because I don't like him having card advantage. I just don't like that. Especially being an aggro deck. But of course he had Syncopate, so that doesn't help. There's absolutely nothing else I could do. I think by now I already knew I was going to lose. I mean, because I could do the Loxodon, which is great, but now I can't. And that was actually perfect timing for him to do that, because he sees that I only have 2 lands. Now I have a 3rd land. He's tapped out. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I might have some hope here. But that search is just... Of course. So there goes all my hope. Because now, again, in this case, I only have 4 mana, and there's more removal that he has. That's incredible, the amounts of removal that he has, and I have to lose a turn. So, right there, I was 99.9% sure that I lost. I was like, yep, there we go. Here comes the discarding. So he removed my creatures. And now he's starting to remove by hand. So it's like, yep, I have absolutely nothing to do. Not even top deck. I'm not even going to say top deck that Haunted Witness, because that's not even top decking right there. That's just terrible drawing. Then here, I think he removes reinforcements. And I was like, well, I would have removed the Loxodon, but it actually makes sense on why he did that. He still had 3 lands. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I see. So I was hoping for a land, see if I could bring in Shalai. Because that would have helped me, but of course not. See, that search is just a killer, man. You got that search, and you pretty much, it's a winning game for him. I think he does Nexus or something. Yep. Nexus of Fate. I should have just conceded there to not waste time. But I saw him at 13. I have Shalai. I just need that land. I was like, well, let me just try one more turn. If I get it. And no, I don't get a land, so. Plus, I'm assuming that he has a counterspell in hand, but I was like, well, who cares? You know, just go for it. But now he's going to use his binding, I think. Nope. Haunted Witness. Now he uses his binding, which makes sense because that prevents me from bringing in another creature. So, and what is this, like the 6th, 7th turn without a land? So it's like, yeah. So I was pretty mad on this one because I just had one more game to do, and I would have won. I would have been in Mythic. And the thing is like when I lose, I start losing. Like I don't just lose one game. I start losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row. And of course, he draws that counter spell. I have heroic reinforcements in hand. He knows that I have heroic reinforcements in hand. And there's absolutely nothing I can do. I think he destroys it. Yep. And I was like, yep, we're good. I mean, all that removal and hand removal is just like, what are you playing? Like, what is this? You know, and I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'm done. Because it's nothing but hand removal. It's hand removal, creature removal, and it's just like, okay, your deck is a piece of shit and super annoying and it's garbage. So, on to the next one. So that's the problem with these control decks, is that that they don't have a win condition. They just annoy the shit out of you. I mean, what's the fun in that? Like get off your high horse, you know? So I was like, all right, I lose one, and I have to win 2 more. So I was like, all right, you know, let's not lose, because again, for me, for some reason, once I start losing, I start losing. I like this hand, definitely. Got my 1/2 drop, and I was hoping by turn 3 I would draw a 1/1 or a 1 drop. Sorry, that's what I was hoping for. So I said, okay, let me just do the Vanguard, because here, you know, no matter what creature he kills, it'll still be in play. You know what I'm saying? So right here, I'm hoping for a 1 drop. So if I'm able to get the 1 drop, I could bring in my elephant. I do, but I think I made a boo-boo here, but I'm not sure. It was either this one or the next game that I made a boo-boo. Yeah, I made the boo-boo right there. Oh my god. Was I mad at myself? I was like, what the hell did you just do? Like, here I am hoping for my 1 drop. And you can tell by that pause how, oh man. I was like, no, 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 no. Again, if he has any destruction, you know, at least my creature will stay. But the only thing is that the -2/-2, which is right there, which was a total blow for me. But at least I have that 1 creature. I grabbed the land, brought everything down. So kind of like a backup plan, plan B. It worked. So yep, and then yep. So it kind of worked in a way, just hoping that he doesn't have another -2/-2. Because if he did, then that would have been an automatic loss right there. But then I started thinking, wait, he might have that one that removes the creature, gain 2 life. He's like, nope. I want to draw a card. Then, I guess he drew that, or he had it in a hand, whatever. Doesn't matter. I was like, alright, here we go. Boom. And this time I kept the Vanguard in hand because, just in case, again with the -2/-2, and plus I have my legendary land. I could create creatures at the end of his turn. So, and I was thinking, well, if I could draw a Heroic Reinforcements like I just did, then it's game over. But either way, it would have been game over because it's 2, 4, 7, 8. So I actually casted that just in case he had something else. And he did. He gained 2 life, but I still hit him for 10, so it doesn't really matter. So I was like, all right, good. I got my win back. I just need one more win, and we're good to go. So I was excited. I was back to normal. I wasn't frustrated. Because again, going back to the losing, once I lose, I start losing. I think that happens to a lot of people as well. So here's a tier 1 against a tier 1. I was thinking that. I was like, shoot. So, all right, now here it is. See? Right when I needed this deck to work, it doesn't give me a 2-drop. I only have 2 lands. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, I have 3 lands here. I go first, and boom. Oh, yes, please. Here we go. I'm like, yep. I definitely like that mulligan. That was great. Just hoping for some good draws. I definitely wanted the banishing, well, the marshal, whatever, because I was thinking like, well, if I'm playing against a mono red, at least I'm going first, and I could get him down before he could get his goblin out. Yes, this time that land was supposed to enter tapped. So I think it was actually a good thing that I played that one land tapped in the game before because of the -2/-2. So kind of like the game was telling me like, oh hey, I'm going to make you press this on accident. So that was pretty good. That was a good draw. I always bring down history before martial, so that the following turn I have a 3/3 to attack with. Then I remember thinking here, if he attacks with the challenger, I will block with a 2/2 and a 1/1. So the 1/1 could be a life gainer, so that the marshal next turn will pump him up. And I was hoping that he would attack, but I was thinking, well, this is a red-white, and it looks like it's kind of like a homemade one. So I'm pretty sure that he has maybe a shock or lightning strike, but I was hoping that I was wrong. So I was like, okay. I was making sure that he didn't have first strike. I was like, was it first strike or mentor? And I was right. He had a lightning strike, of course. I was a bit mad there, but I was like, okay, just relax. We still got this. And a great way, like a great combo, I guess you could say, is history, martial, then heroic. That's like the order that you want to play, because you bring in the history, gives you the 2 creatures, and by the time you play heroic on the third, they're 4/3s. Because of the martial, and I think you guys get the gist. So I was just hoping this guy was mana screwed, which he was, and he didn't bring down any creatures. So I was hoping for that, and he did bring down creatures. I think he brings down one more, but I was hoping for him to attack, but he didn't, which was great. Actually, I thought if he attacks, I will let it go through. I think that's what I told myself. And I played this, and he scooped. I was like, I can't believe he actually did. And for a second there, I actually forgot that if I would have won this one, I went to Mythic. So right there, I got up out of my chair, started jumping up and down, screaming. I had tears in my eyes because this was my goal, was to get to Mythic before January 17th. Even though it was January 17th because it was midnight, but before the new set was released. And yeah, that's my journey to Mythic, and it was a great journey. I'm super happy. Um, I feel proud of myself because I made that goal, I set it, and I made it. And I used to play Hearthstone, and I always wanted to get to Mythic, never was able to. Um, I find Magic the Gathering, I guess, more challenging, or you could say harder than Hearthstone, in a way, because Hearthstone, is challenging and harder in its own way. And I just made some Mythic and Magic, and oh man, I just remember just being in tears pretty much the rest of the night. And yeah, I accomplished it, and now I'm in Mythic. I can't go down to Diamond, so I can play whatever I want. I'm thinking about making a Gruul deck. So um, let's see what happens. So thank you so much, guys, for joining and watching this video. Like, subscribe, comment. Uh, if I made any mistakes, point them out. Besides that tap land, but in the end, I don't think it was much of a mistake. But yeah. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it, and you guys have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.